to you by Podcast City Network.
It is time to play.
You're listening to the Everett Lee Show. Let's go! A shot of entertainment to the head.
No doubt.
So sit back, relax,
Put your drinks up.
and enjoy the entertainment.
Okay.
Now we come to the payoff.
Let's rock.
Welcome, everyone, to another exciting podcast of the Everett Lee Show. I'm Everett Lee. Quick shout out to all my followers on Twitter. Follow me at the Everett_Lee, Facebook.com/Everett Lee. Click that thumbs up. And, of course, Podcast City Network. Follow Podcast City Network over on podcastcity.net. Over on Facebook, Podcast City Network. Click that thumbs up. And on Twitter, at Podcast City Net. Let's cut the damn music. All right. It's been a week since we've last come on. Well, actually, yeah, it's been about a week. We were on last Thursday night talking about prediction show for NXT TAKEOVer, Brooklyn 4, and, of course, WWE SummerSlam 2018. That was this past weekend, and all I got to say is amazing wrestling over the weekend, and a lot of stuff that we're going to talk about tonight is, did what we predict happen or did it not on the program tonight? But before we get into any of that, I want to give a shout out to all our sponsors brought to you by Podcast City Network over on podcastcity.net. Sports Sanity Customs. Head over to Sports Sanity Customs for your latest apparel. Hit them up and let them know you want Podcast City Network t-shirt. City Limits Tap Room in DeLand, Florida, home of Draft Day. Head over to City Limits Tap Room in DeLand for a wide variety of sports, television, indoor and outdoor seating, indoor and outdoor television, pool tables, dartboards, backstage for concert events, and much, much more at City Limits Tap Room in DeLand, Florida. And Atlantic Sounds in Daytona Beach. Head over to Atlantic Sounds off of International Boulevard in Daytona. Look for that custom vinyl, cassette, or CD, or if you want to add to that collection, hit them up on Facebook at Atlantic Sound Records. And if you want to book that destination to get away from it all, hit up Telltale Travel over on the Podcast City Network sponsor section. Hit up Brittany Imler, and she will book that destination to get away from it all. And this is all brought to you by podcastcity.net. Well, that's a mouthful. I got more of a mouthful for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you viewing on the live stream on Twitch. Looks like we're doing pretty good here. I finally got the bugs whacked out. I think each week I knock fucking bugs out of this goddamn thing, but at least I got it going. So let's hit into the in-ring report, shall we? If the music is playing. 1, 2, 3. Tonight, I am joined back for the results show. I'm joined by none other than my two guests. I'm joined by Mr. Oh So Smooth. Woo! Tommy James from Second Rounds, Florida Edition. Let's give a clap.
Yeah. You got it right. You got it right. You got it right.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes.
I'm also joined, coming back from last week. She was a knockout and always is a knockout. We're talking about the First Lady of Second Rounds We're talking about Jade Feinics, host of the Feinics Gate podcast. Let's give her a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Well, welcome back, both of you. I'm surprised you decided to come back after last week, man. That was one hell of a long podcast, was it not?
It was, man. That was
3 hours.
I know, but it was the best 3 hours of my life. That was better than what I had with an ex-girlfriend.
Wow.
Yes. All I gotta say is, any exes out there, I'm sorry, you just got toasty. So,
Bye.
yeah. So, anyhow, what a weekend, man, we had for wrestling, with starting on Saturday with NXT TAKEOVER New York, man. NXT TAKEOVER Brooklyn. That was just freaking great. Was it not, Tommy and Jade?
yes.
It was.
It was.
I was kind of sad that I didn't get to go.
Yeah, you didn't get to go, man. I just
No.
no.
My dog's pretty upset about it too. But a really couch.
Yeah. Was it more like
No, my friend fell through last minute, so I just watched it through the WWE network, and it was good.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually got to watch it. I think it was the first time I got to watch it with Tommy. I was over there earlier doing the Who You Got challenge for second round's Florida edition, and that was a really good episode.
Yeah.
A lot of crazy shenanigans going on with little baby Everett decided she wanted to get in on the action.
She wanted that camera. She was like, I want that camera. It was funny. It was good. Give us good laugh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was good. I was watching the playback on it, and my wife was watching it, and she was laughing and stuff after you do the cheers, Hey!
Boom! Oh, earthquake!
Yeah, it was great. It was great.
No, I joined in on that. It was fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was awesome. Getting to see Alex, meeting Alex for the first time, New York, Florida edition. Doing a crossover. It was really good. And one question I want to ask you before we get into this, Tommy. I'm comfortable with the choices that we made for you. Are you comfortable?
Oh, with the way my challenge worked out?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I walk away with Nova, and that to me it's huge. It's definitely going to be a great a con just to look around. I know I got a really strong character. As we know, I was very upset with the Wolf Jungle Fury Wolf Ranger. We know I wanted that. And Zach Morris, of course, I wanted to see Zach Morris and the Blue Raja. I'm a big fan, man, Blue Raja. But in the long run, it was a really good challenge. We had a lot of fun with it. And to me, that's what the challenge is made for. It's all about just having a good time, and we proved this past Saturday that's what it's about. We had a good time. We had some shenanigans. I mean, baby Everett, dropping our camera makes us all laugh. Christian comes in, his friend leaves. Christian screams like a crazy maniac. It's all about us, about our lives. And you're a part of it. And that to me we had so much fun. I'm glad you came and you did a great job. You gave me good characters and you were fair, which is what matters.
That's good. I'm glad I did, man. I'm glad I was there, and I'm glad I get to hang out
At
with you.
least it wasn't up to Alex this time.
Al, he time he ended up. It ended up being up to him at the end. Actually, he's the one that chose Nova over Shane Sullivan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was fun.
Which is surprising.
I loved it. I'd love to do it again, and we're gonna discuss and try to get something rolling at Podcast City Network on the second Who You Got challenge with Podcast City Network. I think it's gonna be great. It's gonna be fun.
That's what's coming. You'll be doing your own, sir.
Yes. I definitely will. I'll have David C. Russell from Deathmatch Russell Podcast. Shout out to him watching the stream right now. Yeah, it's gonna be great, man. It definitely is. I am looking forward to it and can't wait to do that. One thing I can't wait to talk about is
Guys, come on.
No.
Tommy's doing a podcast. Come on.
They went in on the action like they did last week. They do.
They do.
Yeah, they do.
You know what it is they hear people's voices and they want to be like, oh, is there somebody here to pet me? And it's like, no.
No, it's a computer.
Sorry, but it's just a computer. My dogs are not technologically inclined, sadly.
Yeah, right.
It's okay.
My dog will be going off barking here
Go
just
lay
a second because I can hear my wife coming in. But before the shenanigans and the dogs start barking on us again. There goes my dog too. You must hear your dog.
Couch. One
One
in your
thing.
spot. Good girl.
One thing I want to talk about with NXT TakeOver Brooklyn is we had 5 good matches that we talked about last week. We predicted what matches, who would win, and somewhat. Do you feel that we were close or we were right on the money on who our winners were on these matches?
I'd say we were pretty close.
Yeah. I mean, what were we, like 4 out of 5?
Pretty much.
Something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, we were.
Yeah, we were 4 out of 5 on the prediction, so not bad.
No, not bad at all. No, I definitely agree. Not bad at all. One thing I want to ask you, if we can all agree on, I know we chatted about it before, after TakeOver, was match of the night would have to be Adam Cole putting up the North America Championship against Ricochet. Was that match of the night?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that was the match of the weekend.
Yeah.
I think that was definitely like the match of the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
That was. I want to start. We'll go around on discussing this match. I'll start with you, Tommy, and then hand it off to Jade, and then back to me. Ricochet going up against Adam Cole for the North American Championship.
Adam Cole, baby. Listen, this match, I said it last week, it's going to be a clinic. It was going to be the match of the night. It was beautiful. I loved every bit of it. Everett, you were there, sit next to me watching it, man. And it was just so, these guys know how to work together so well. You got 2 amazing competitors. And Ricochet, he's not that special, right? He's not that special. He proved that he is way more than just special. He is the one. He is the only. He is Prince Puma. He is King Ricochet. I am very glad that he won, though deep down I wanted Adam Cole to keep it because I'm an Undisputed Era guy. But like that moonsault into a super kick, I mean, woo!
I know.
So beautiful. He kicked him right in the neck. Right? He had a nice welt right on his neck. So, it's, as we know, as huge wrestling fans, we know, it's an act, it's all entertainment. But when you see that, you're like, holy shit, man! Like the athleticism that these guys can put together is beyond amazing. And they proved it since I want to see it again. Give me a rematch. Let's see it one more time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with you.
At least one more time before they get called up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Jade, give me your thoughts on that, man.
I mean, dude, that match had me on the edge of my seat. It was so good. I mean, I've seen some great matches in my many, many years of watching wrestling and being involved as a fan. That match is definitely going in my top 10. It was just so beautifully done. There was there were some times where I was like, oh my God, if this wasn't actually practiced so many times, he could have killed him with that kick to the neck. But it was impressive. I was sincerely impressed. And it takes a lot to impress me when it comes to wrestling because it's just gotten so predictable. But that match, I was like, oh my God, it's so good. So, I mean, definitely match of the entire weekend for me.
Yeah, it was great, man. I mean, there was a lot of good spots, a lot of good close pinfalls in that right there, and just some really good spots, because I think the spot of the night for me would have to be the kick to the head when Ricochet came off the ropes and Adam Cole kicking the lights out of Ricochet, man. That was just freaking nuts, man. I was just freaking nuts. Was it not?
At one point, I thought he was KO'd. I was like, oh my God, is he actually out? But no, got right back up, got right back in it, and kicked some tail.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you did, man. It was just, it was great.
Man, that's good wrestling, good storytelling. NXT never disappoints. I mean, this was just, it was great to watch, man. I wish I was live. Like, if I was live back in Brooklyn in that match, holy shit, I would have murked out.
Yeah.
I would
have probably marked out myself, man. I mean, just with everything that just went on with that match right there. I mean, it just showed. I mean, the crowd was in both guys. Both put on a hell of a match, and you couldn't go wrong with that match right there. That was one of my favorite matches out of the night. That definitely was. Another match.
Agreed.
Another match I want to say was my favorite would have to be Velveteen Dream versus EC3. That was good right there. The story and the build-up behind that was excellent, man. It was like, who is the better, show off or sport, or however you want to put it. Whoever was the better man in the ring. And that right there, that match right there, Velveteen Dream, I love it when he came out and he had the Call Me Up Vince on the back of the shorts, on his tights. That was
He got in trouble for that.
Yeah, I heard about that, man. Triple H didn't even know he had it on there. He did, man.
No.
It's better.
He got in trouble for that.
It's better actually to do something and then get in trouble and say sorry and not go ahead. And Big Cass's is a perfect example. It's best to not ask and say no and get told no and then do it and get in more of a shitstorm. It's better to just do something, get in trouble, say you're sorry, and then they move past it,
It proved a point. That's what it really did. It proved a point. It sent a message. And I think the message was well received. He put on a phenomenal match, as did EC3. I'm not the biggest fan of EC3, but supposedly he's getting called up. That's probably why he lost. But it's nice to see the Velveteen Dream get himself a victory. And that spot when he did the Dream Driver right on the freaking it was awesome. I mean, Alex, who doesn't watch wrestling, Everett, you would know that. Alex doesn't watch wrestling, or he went woo, and he lost it. And that, to me, if you're not a wrestling fan anymore, at least if you're an Attitude Era guy and you watch NXT and you can sit there and say, whoa, it brings you back to the point. Now Alex is sitting there telling me, he's like, I wouldn't mind watching NXT. I'm like, dude, watch it. It's good. It's good wrestling. And that's what these guys do. They give you good wrestling. And Velveteen Dream, he's the man. I call him up. I'm calling him up, but they'll ruin his ass if he gets called up. It's Prince.
Yeah, of course. If he goes over to Raw, he definitely would get ruined if he does go up to Raw. Yeah. If he goes to SmackDown, I think he would have a better chance. And if he gets called up just in general, there's a lot of places that he can actually, go and have good rivalries with. EC3, same thing. He can rival. It would be some good rivalries with whoever's up on the main roster as well. But I feel that hopefully they don't put him in the position like they did Bobby Roode. That's the only thing I hope don't happen. Yeah.
I know. I agree with you on that one. They're underusing Bobby.
How do you ruin Glorious? And Vince found a way.
Mm-hmm.
Pathetic.
Yeah, it is. It is pathetic. It definitely is pathetic. It definitely is.
EC3 is more than likely going to get called up anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could
flop.
see.
That's the bad part. He's going to flop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if he goes to Raw, he'll probably get ruined like Bobby Roode. More SmackDown. But anyway, hopefully on one of the two, we we hate to say it, but it can happen. I mean, look at the example of the other NXT talent, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, another match of the night, my favorite match. After I watched it, I didn't like the ending, but then after I thought about it, I was like, you know what? That right there, Wayne, what other ending could you do? And it was such a hell of an ending. You know what I mean? I'm talking about the NXT Championship match, main event. We're talking about Johnny Gargano, Mr. Johnny Wrestling versus Tommaso Ciampa. Man, last man standing. Too bad Aleister Black could not be in it, but we know the situation with Aleister Black because he's being written off TV for a while where he got jumped. And therefore, someone has took him out, and we're going to find out who that person is. There's a lot of speculation on who it might be, but time is going to come, and we'll find out who took out Aleister Black. But Johnny and Tommaso had one hell of a match. It was almost like a repeat, almost of TakeOver Chicago, but with a little bit more stuff happening, man. A lot of more stuff, which was just crazy. What are your thoughts on that match, Jade, and how that went?
Honestly, that match was a dogfight. It was wonderfully executed. I feel bad because it actually turns out, I was reading the reports after, that that move that Gargano did at the very end to Ciampa, he did actually do. And it's funny because I was actually saying to Fernando, I was like, dude, his kneecap isn't in the right place. I think he's legitimately hurt. And he's like, no, he's faking it. He's playing it for the crowd. I'm like, no, I think he dislocated his knee. Professional. I was like, that looks like a legit injury. And he goes, no. And then it turns out, yeah, actually, he did dislocate his knee with that last move.
Mm-hmm.
And, again, when it comes down to it, some moves just, you can't predict how it's going to happen. But that finisher was just, whew, it was good. You're sitting there and you're just like, wow, did that actually just happen? And Ciampa is just like that mother effer guy where you're just like, how are you that blow? Like, wow. So for me, that was just pure talent right there. That was talent. Because that takes a lot of talent, stamina. That match went for what, about 23 minutes, give or take, right?
Yeah,
and
about that.
I think it was like either, if not the longest match of the night, the second longest match of the night. And for those guys to pull off everything that they did, those moves, they were exhausted after. There's no way that they could have just been like, went backstage and collapsed, because it was just so good. Like, honestly, when it comes down to it, that was also probably my second favorite match of the entire weekend. It was just like, the talent in NXT is just ridiculous.
Yes, I can agree. I definitely can agree. Tommy, we both watch that match. We're like, holy shit, at like certain spots in that match, man. It's just like with the ring getting ripped up and just almost happening, Tommaso almost pulled on Johnny in Chicago, but actually Johnny pulled that on Tommaso. And what were you thinking? And just when we were watching this, man, what were your thoughts? Just the match.
Honestly, I really enjoyed the match. These guys work so well together. Obviously, being friends, they know each other so well. I felt it was definitely a step up from TakeOver Chicago. I honestly am not happy with the finish. I thought the finish was very lazy. I know that Gargano did actually get hurt. Supposedly, he was supposed to actually get up at that point, and supposedly he was supposed to win. That's the rumor that's going around. I guess because of that last minute, situation, it was just a simple, there was, Ciampa just kind of slides on off, and to me, it just, it felt lazy. It felt like a way to finish the match. I understand, when an injury occurs, you got to get the match over as soon as possible, at least the coming of an end of a match. But I think with that match and their rivalry, it shouldn't have ended like it did. I felt they should have ended it better. Obviously, no injuries involved, but I wanted Ciampa to win. I'm glad that he won. I don't think there was a reason to take the belt off, even if Gargano was supposed to win. I don't see the purpose in it right now. I'm glad Ciampa's still the champ. It makes it more of that title means even more with him holding it because he's such a bad motherfucker. He's so great as a heel. And like I said, a phenomenal match. Not my favorite of the night, obviously, because Cole and Ricochet really put that on the mark. But the finish, I think, was a little lazy. Could have been a little better, but like I said, injuries will change the way matches will go. So, sadly, that's how that's happened.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that there, man. I mean, just the finish. That's what got me, man, because I was mad. I was upset when I left. I said I was pissed. I was pissed at the fact that the way the match ended, though. But after when on my way going home, coming back home, I was sitting there thinking about that. Then I got online and I'm reading about stuff, and I started thinking about it. And the more I thought about it and thought about the match, even going back and watching the match, I said to myself, it makes sense. It does. And yeah, that's speculation that, Johnny did hurt his knee. I mean, that was one hell of a move right there. To me, when I was watching that back again, it felt like Johnny was like, screw the belt. I want to destroy you. You destroyed everything that I am, me and my wife. I'm going to destroy you. I'm going to take you out. And he tried to, but in the process, he lost the match, and Tommaso held on to the belt. And I mean, it was great. It was great. I definitely did enjoy that match, man. Going back at it again, watching it. Sometimes when you first watch something, you get that feeling. You're like, oh man, I didn't really feel it, but let me go back and watch it again. When you watch a second time, you're like, okay, this makes more sense. I understand why this was done. I understand why that was done. That was set up, why this was told in the ring. And it makes much more sense, So, yeah, I'm happy with the match. And one of these people, one of them should be Will. Actually, Johnny getting called up. Johnny hurt. We just got to wait and see. We got to wait and see what happens now. Just got to wait and see what the rumor mill brings us and what's true and what's not. Now, another match I thought was really good that kicked off and started off the night was the NXT Tag Team title match. You had the Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong going up against Mustache Mountain, man. Hell, there goes Tommy with the if Tommy, you're not down with the Undisputed Era, you got about a
33 and a third chance.
I'm actually disagreeing with him. Oh man,
Was that the only match that I think we got wrong? I think that may have been the only match we got wrong.
Yeah, I think so. What? Yeah, no, Tommy got it right. Tommy got it right because we were talking about it. We were debating about it right there when we were watching it, and I was pulling for Mustache Mountain because I was hoping the Undisputed Era would get called up, and we all went with Mustache Mountain. We went with the New England guys, Tyler Bate, and I forget the other guy's name. It's killing me. I'm forgetting, but we went with them. Tommy went Trent Stevens. Yeah, we went with them, but Tommy went with Undisputed Era, and yeah, Tommy right there. Yep, yep, he got it. He definitely did. Jade giving him a little clap. Let's give that sound effect. If I sound a little bit hoarse It's because Tuesday night I was throwing up McDonald's, and I'm never eating that shit again. So just to let everyone know. But besides that, a lot of good false finishes in that tag team title match, man. You figured that Mustache Mountain was like going to close in and just, get it. But they didn't get it, man. They didn't get it. And Tommy, you called it. Undisputed Era. Good tag team. It looks like they're going to hold on to the belts. But, Tommy, what'd you think at the end on where Undisputed Era is going now and who their next opponents are?
Oh, well, actually, funny enough, I believe I was actually in here smoking when that happened. Because I remember when the match ended and they got the win, all you saw me goes, I knew it! And I walked out to go smoke a cigarette, and then I came back. I missed it, but you were the one that told me that the War Raiders came out and took them down. So I love that they're setting that up. It's great to see the War Raiders are going to be able to get the belts. I know, because I rewatched it too, the Brooklyn crowd fucking hated it. They hated it so much they booed hard because they love the Undisputed Era.
They do.
But I'm okay with, if anybody's taking the titles, it should be the War Raiders. It makes sense. They came as War Machine and ROH and New Japan. These are top tag team right here. So if they're going to take it, I'm fine with it, even though the Undisputed Era should keep it forever, in my opinion. But because they're undisputed. But what I look at it is, I think when we finally get to see them fight in a good match, it's going to be awesome. I mean, I can't wait to see the powerhouse of the Raiders going against fucking the Undisputed Era with Strong and O'Reilly. Hopefully, I don't know when Fish is coming back. I would prefer to see O'Reilly and Fish. I'd rather see Red Dragon versus the War Raiders or War Machine, so we can get that New Japan feel again, because those guys are going to beat the crap out of each other. It's going to be awesome to see. The War Raiders will get those belts. That's why it's a setup this way. And at that point, I think that's when the Undisputed Era comes up. And I'm thinking Royal Rumble is when we're going to see it. They're going to show up in the Rumble. You're going to have all four guys showing up in that Rumble. And hopefully Cole wins. It's not going to happen, but I hope.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Jade, your thoughts on that?
I gotta agree.
Moments of that match.
I have to agree. The Undisputed Era may actually be called up sooner than later, because of some things that happened at SummerSlam, which we'll get into when we're doing that. But I definitely agree that the War Raiders coming in is like basically, it's like, we're here, you better respect us, you better understand that we're here to win, and Undisputed Era, we love you, we know that you're amazing, but you know what? We're gonna make it ours. This is our yard now, to quote the one man I hate the most. But whatever. But yeah, they made a very serious, like, bam, we're here, deal with it, we're gonna mess you up. And let's not get it twisted. The match was well done. It wasn't overplayed, it wasn't underplayed. I think it was just enough that it was pleasing to everybody else. Maybe not Brooklyn, but to everybody else it was.
Yeah.
I think it was a great match. They work really well together. Again, I still believe if Bobby Fish was there, it would be a better match, because Fish, in my opinion, is better than Strong. I'm not knocking Roderick Strong, that's Mr. ROH, but I feel Strong is better as a singles competitor than compared to a tag team, especially with O'Reilly. O'Reilly is a phenomenal wrestler, but if Bobby Fish is with him, those guys are unstoppable. Literally unstoppable. Red Dragon is amazing. But Mustache Mountain, though, put on an amazing show. There were so many false finishes, and I loved it. I love seeing that. It shows, again, really, NXT, man, they don't disappoint. It's so good.
Yeah.
They don't.
Yeah, they don't disappoint, man. I definitely have to agree with that right there, man. They don't disappoint. It's just phenomenal. I'm looking forward to seeing Undisputed and the War Raiders just hook it up. And that's one thing I like about NXT, continuation of story. Okay, when one feud ends, the next feud starts. You know, that's
Right away.
that's what I love about NXT. I mean, you see the hat I'm wearing tonight. Yeah, when one feud ends, the next one starts, and it may be on the week after, because we know like the week after or a few days after a takeover, it's the matches they tape before takeover, which they show.
Yeah.
And I mean, you see the story continue and everything and stuff and everything. You know,
it's going to be good.
It's more seamless. I like that it's more seamless than the WWE.
Yeah.
Because WWE start a storyline, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, what happened to that?
Yeah.
You don't have that issue where it's like, this is the storyline. No, this is it. No, we're going to go this way. No, NXT is consistent. They're like, no, this is the storyline, and we're sticking to it. And I love that about NXT.
Smart writing, smart wrestling. I mean, I love the fact it's their 1 year anniversary because they made their first appearance last year at TakeOver in Brooklyn. Crowd went ballistic. Crowd still goes ballistic for them. And it was cool to watch because you also have the crowd was on both sides as well. They loved the Undisputed Era, and they were cheering for Mustache Mountain. But Undisputed was getting way more than Mustache Mountain. But let's be real. When you hear that, the begin just shock the system. You're like, yes, this is about to get fucking real. And these guys are so great. When they move them up, they keep the stable together. You never break that fucking stable, which they will. But, there's no reason to. Just like when Adam Cole was in ROH, he was part of the Kingdom. They stuck with the Kingdom for so long. Keep the Undisputed Era, just like the fucking Kingdom. You put it up here, you boom, and that's it. The crowd is going to love them for years to come if done correctly.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Now, if they did break up the Undisputed Era, you will see them getting called up one by one and stuff. I mean, for example, they broke up Nikki Cross for Sanity. All right. Sanity's up on SmackDown. Nikki Cross still in NXT. We haven't heard really nothing from Nikki Cross in a while. It looks like Nikki Cross will be coming. I'm assuming that she should be coming up the main roster, going to SmackDown and joining her brethren. You know what I mean? I mean, you can't.
Hopefully.
Yeah. You can't have one without the other. You can't have one without the other. Now,
what they need, I think, is another shakeup.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I
get to more after we discuss SummerSlam on some stuff that was reported and why stuff happened. But yeah, I got a whole barrel of monkeys I'm getting ready to go. Blah! So I'm holding on to it, man. Because I'm holding back because I am pissed off about a lot of things this week with wrestling, and I'm holding back. I'm trying to get through this, man. I'm trying not to go Sid Vicious.
Don't do it. Don't Sid it. Don't be a vicious Sid.
Yeah. Now,
we're live.
one match that we didn't really care too much for, especially with the finish. I'll let Jade start on this one here. Is the NXT Women's Title match. Shayna Baszler versus Kairi Sane, the Pirate Princess.
Yeah.
That sounded like me a couple nights ago.
Let's not get it twisted. Baszler, we've agreed, is a man.
Yeah.
Baszler is actually a man, so that really wasn't a woman's fight. That was a mixed title match. But we all knew that Baszler was going to drop the title because she is getting called up. Now that her fellow four horsewoman is now the champion, and they just released that Evolution promo poster, and she's on it. So obviously, sometime before Evolution, this woman is getting called up.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with Kairi Sane getting the NXT Women's Championship. I mean, we're talking, this is the woman that won the Mae Young Classic. She's been underplayed. Yeah, her gimmick is a little weird. Her gimmick is a little, hokey. But you know what? It worked for her when she was in Japan.
Yeah.
You know, it worked for her before. I mean, she's a fantastic wrestler. Let's not get it twisted. Kairi Sane knows what she's doing. You know, that woman can move.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. I went to the bathroom and I did what I had to do during that match because I knew what it was going to happen. That was my bathroom break. And I was just like, oh, no, exactly as I thought. Yep, pretty much.
Oh my God, what the fuck is that?
I'm sorry. I had to, Jade. I had to.
It's fine. Dude, I'm not like these prissy women where it's like, oh my God, bathroom humor? Ew.
Nasty.
No, I'm with it.
Ew.
Like, that is so bad. Like, how can you even, like, joke about that? Like, ew.
I know. Oh, so smooth Tommy James. What were you talking about, man? Because we're sitting there watching this. Alex, what I like is Alex's expression on this because we're sitting there watching it. You know, he's like looking at Kairi Sane because he don't watch NXT much. And he's like, okay, all right, I get it. And then he's like, look, what was the first words he said when he seen Shayna Baszler?
It's a man! Just picture
No,
like
this is a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, that's a man. Yeah. She's a man.
Man, oh man, right?
He pulled it off Austin Powers.
Yeah,
He pulled it off his powers.
Yeah,
It's
pretty
a
much.
man.
Pretty much, man. Pretty much. Now, I forgot. Refreshing my memory about what you said about this match when we were watching it and stuff and everything.
Oh, honestly, I don't even remember. I didn't like the match. You know, I know we were shitting on it as it was going along. I know we were talking about other shit too. Like I might have been talking about Velveteen Dream at that point. Like, I know I was explaining to Alex really what Shayna Baszler is, and like, you know, I know me and you were actually telling Alex like, yeah, this is what she does. MMA, this is why she acts the way she is. She's a man, we get it.
Yeah.
You know, Christian comes up, does the little fucking thing that she does.
Yeah, the spade.
Right, she's got the little thing. And it's just I didn't like it, man. I'm glad that Kairi got it. She's well deserved champ. Definitely deserves the opportunity, but who cares about that match? It wasn't well done. There was a few spots that were nice, but in the long run, it's like, oh, Kairi won? Okay.
Yeah.
She carried that match, if you ask me.
I didn't feel it. You know, when somebody wins a title, you want to feel it. And like when Bayley won her first time when she beat Sasha, you felt it. You know, everybody was like, yes! Kairi wins, they're just like, oh, okay, yeah, the pirate, yes, the Jack Sparrow chick, yeah, she's good. I like her. She does elbow stuff,
And it was the same with Ember Moon. When Ember Moon, before she got called up, when she her championship, we were like, yes, you know?
Yeah.
This was just, I think Kairi carried the match, honestly, because Baszler is just...
Yeah, that's what basically would
feel it. And I believe anytime there's a title change in any type of aspect, you should be able to feel it. Okay, when Ricochet beat Adam Cole, I felt it in two ways. I felt it in a way going, shit, I didn't want to see that, but then I said, you know what? Well deserved. Guy's a phenomenal wrestler. You know, when Ciampa wins, I'm sitting there going, I feel it. Like, I'm like, oh, all right, but what if Johnny would have won?
Right.
The Undisputed Era keep the titles. Oh, I feel that because they well deserve to keep it. But when Kyrie won, it was just like, okay, so what's next? Because I don't know what's who's up next. Probably a Mae Young Classic winner. I think actually they get the title shot. I believe it when they win. But in the long run, she's just holding that belt for me. You know, she's gonna hold it. Somebody's gonna come in. Somebody's gonna take. Maybe Bianca Belair might do it. She's phenomenal. I think she can actually take that belt and actually bring it to a prestige.
Yeah.
Because let's be real. You got your NXT Women Champ that's going to walk around with Jack Sparrow hat and what's the thing called on the boat that they spin? The wheel.
Yeah,
there's a name for it.
Yeah, there is. I'm forgetting the name. There is a name for it.
What's the wheel? What's the wheel called? The wheel? No, there's a name.
Steering wheel.
No, there's an actual name for the wheel. I forgot what it's called.
Oh, I got a computer right here in front of me. I got Google.
Worked in Japan, doesn't work here.
Yeah. I got Google. I forgot. Okay, name a wheel on a ship. Steering wheel.
Yep.
Pirate wheel. Yeah. Okay, here we go. It's called a... Yeah. Okay, here it is. The person who steers is the helmsman. That's what they call it. A helmsman?
A helmsman?
Yeah, helmsman. Yeah, ship's wheel. Yeah, all they call it is a ship's wheel. A boat wheel. Yeah, that's what they call it.
Or a steering wheel. It's basically it.
Yeah, steering wheel or ship wheel.
Name for the physical wheel. I forgot what they called it. Are you sure? 'Cause I'm gonna have to check that too.
The only other name that I'm seeing that's coming up is called the helm.
The helm. Yeah.
That's the helm?
Yeah.
That's the area.
That's it. Yeah, helm. A helm. You're right, Jade.
That's where you drive the boat. Jen's saying that's where you actually drive the boat, the area.
Yeah. The person who steers is a helmsman, so I think it's called the helm. A pirate goes into a bar. He has a ship's wheel attached to the front of his pants. Freaking Google. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, we'll say the pirate wheel. She's spinning her little pirate wheel, like a pinwheel.
Oh, it's a tiller. It's called a tiller.
What is it? Say it again.
Yeah. The part that connects to the actual wheel itself is called a tiller. So what she's actually holding is the tiller, but the wheel is just a wheel.
Okay. Yeah.
She's holding the tiller. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Tiller.
Mm-hmm. All right. So
I love how we all had to Google that.
I know.
I love how we all had to Google that.
Yeah, pretty much.
So Jack Sparrow holds the tiller while spinning the wheel of the Black Pearl.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, I'm steering the wheel right here, I mean, pretty much.
Are they doing another Mae Young Classic now? Aren't they getting ready for another Mae Young Classic? I saw that they actually called up a couple of luchas. I was like, yeah.
Yeah. And there's one person that's going to be in the Mae Young Classic is a former WWE diva. We're talking about Caitlyn Celeste Bonin.
Caitlyn, she got mirrors, dude.
Yeah. And you know what? Her and her husband split up. He.
Oh, to have a shot. Sweet.
Yeah. She's single, 5'4", big booby, single, like you said. She looks great. She has her own clothing line, man. She has her own clothing line, which I think is great. She's done really good for herself. She's getting back into wrestling. I think is great. She's kind of reinvented herself. And since you brought her up, I do have to mention that there was a thing I read about a while back ago that they were always talking about with Bray Wyatt having Sister Abigail show up in the flesh, and creative actually wanted to use Caitlyn as Sister Abigail at one point.
I remember reading about that too.
Yeah, they wanted to use her Sister Abigail.
I wouldn't like that.
They dropped it. They said forget it.
Yeah. The only person that could even pull that off would probably be Nikki Cross.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, Nikki Cross would. She's crazy. She's crazy. She's like the girl next door that you basically want to add more locks to your door than what you need and have a electric barbed wire fence. So, yeah. Well, pretty much we agree with the best match at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4 was, and what match we least liked. On a scale, I'll start with Mr. Oh So Smooth, Tommy James. Scale 1 to 5. Give me a rating for NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4.
4.
4. All right. Jade. 5. All right. I give it a 5. I give it a 5. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Before we jump into talking about WWE SummerSlam 2018, there's something I want to bring up.
Oh my god. You know what? It's because they didn't like SummerSlam. Guys! Hey. Hold on.
I don't blame them. They don't like SummerSlam.
I know SummerSlam. Well, that's Tommy. A lot of people didn't really like it. They really didn't like it. While Jade's stepping away, I'm gonna make this announcement right here. I'm gonna pull this up on do a screenshot on my computer right here. After I take out some stuff right here, I want to talk about Manor Professional Wrestling Dinner Theater over in Lake Mary, Florida. It's basically medieval times, but you watch wrestling and you eat a 3-course meal and watch some good kick-ass wrestling. All right? They got an event that went on tonight at 7 p.m. It's off of 5624 Cypress Garden Boulevard in Winter Haven, Florida. And tomorrow night, Friday night at 7 p.m., if you're in the area from 7 p.m. to 9:30 p.m., they have an event going on. That's Manor Professional Wrestling Dinner Theater off of 5624 Cypress Garden Boulevard in Winter Haven, Florida. And is hosted by the Manor Professional Wrestling Dinner Theater. You can buy tickets at manorprowrestling.com. And be sure to check that out. And hit them up on Facebook at Manor Professional Wrestling Dinner Theater for more events to come. I want to give
Sounds like fun.
It is. I want to give a shout out to Robin Nilsson and David C. Russell.
Robin!
Who have interviewed Louise, who owns the Manor Professional Wrestling Dinner. And I actually called David one night when he was in the middle of his podcast talking with Louise, and he basically pulled me in for the show. I was David's co-host, but I give David some hell for the fact that he was calling me the co-host, and then after we got off and got done with it, I said to David, I'm your co-host of the Everett Lee Show. I'm your co-host. Oh man, that's not what I meant, man. It's like, I know I'm messing with you. That's okay. I don't mind that. You were saying that. I knew what you meant, but he was saying it the other way around. I busted his chops and he thought I was serious. I'm like, nah, yeah. So I was just giving it to him. But you know what? Like good old Jack Nicholson said,
gentlemen, let's broaden our minds
and talk about that's where Prince starts playing, Tommy, like you said.
Yeah. Hell yeah, I love that song.
Yes, I do too.
I'm a paint. Let's go paint now.
Paint. Let's talk about WWE SummerSlam, man. I don't know how you guys feel about this pay-per-view, because I'm going to start with a match I think was match of the night. I didn't even really watch a pre-show. We talked about a pre-show. Remember that last week? We talked about pre-show. I basically was on my way to the great Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart's, to watch the pay-per-view there. Kick back. Oh, it was great. Jimmy was there. Got to see Jimmy. Got to talk to Jimmy for a little bit. And the place was packed for SummerSlam. And it was last year. Me and my wife went last year for SummerSlam. And this year, same thing. It was packed. A lot of people in there. Jimmy meet and greeting people in the middle, in between segments of matches, and taking pictures. It was fantastic. It was great.
Awesome.
It was great. But the opening match, I mean, I'm going to skip the pre-show. Did you guys even watch it?
I did.
You did? What? I got my notes right here from last week on the match card. We had Lana and Rusev versus Selena Vega and Andrea Cien Almas. From what I understand, Sienna got a pinfall, but with a little bit of help with the ropes.
That's right. In a very, very, very bad way. Vega she went to put her legs on the ropes, and as the ref was counting, her legs fell off. She tried to put her legs back on, so it was like, oops, botch. But yeah, that's kind of how it ended. Whoopity-doo. Cien's the best. That's how I like it. Cien's the best.
Yeah. And then we had the Cruiserweight Championship match, Cedric Alexander versus Drew Gulak. How was that?
Good match. Very good match. Cedric Alexander ended up keeping his belt, which I was surprised. Drew Gulak did a great job. Both these guys, man, they put on a really freaking good match. I know the Cruiserweight title never gets the real recognition it deserves.
Right.
It should have probably been on the main card, but it was very funny enough. I actually sat down and was able to watch the entire thing. I know Alex was watching it a little bit with me. He wasn't really into it as much, but I'm a huge Cedric Alexander fan, and he did a good job. I thought the belt was getting taken from him since his little problem with his Twitter account. But they keep it on him. That means they trust him enough to see what's going to happen next. So who knows who's taking that belt next?
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, the tag team title match, which I didn't get to see, which was we had the B team versus the Revival, and apparently I know who won that one because I see who's still running around with the belts. Got the B team, yeah. And we definitely got the B team.
The victory. Honestly, shitty match. Boring as fuck. I like the Revival. The B team to me is, they're a joke. It's funny. The crowd loves them. But the crowd loves them. They're just holding it for Authors of Pain. That's all it is. Hold it for the Authors of Pain until they come and take it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the match it deserved to be on the pre-show. I love how the tag titles are treated like crap, but in this time,
excuse me,
they'll take that belt because that's who deserves it.
Yeah.
The B team is the B team. Go, go, go. But in my opinion, who cares?
No. No. No.
No.
All right, I feel better now. That you're gonna hear that a lot here in a little while. Just to give you a heads up. All right, opening match of the night, I would have to say was one of the best matches of the night. Talk about Intercontinental Championship match. We had Dolph Ziggler with Drew McIntyre in his corner versus Seth Rollins with the returning lunatic fringe Dean Ambrose in his corner. Jade, let's start with you. Your thoughts on this Intercontinental match right here.
I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about how sexy Dean Ambrose is, and I'm just going, yes. But that match was my third favorite of the weekend. Yeah. I mean, holy shit. Rollins can wrestle. And Ziggler, don't sleep on Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler knows what he's doing. He's an excellent wrestler. And honestly, personality issues aside, his presence in the ring is felt. Like, yes. When Ziggler's in the ring, you're going to get a show. When you put him in the same ring as Seth Rollins, I mean, his wardrobe mishap notwithstanding, considering they said that he was supposed to have 2 gold boots. He was coming out as he was doing a tribute to Thanos from the Avengers. Yes. And the fact that he didn't have the second gold boot kind of put people off, because I'm sitting there, I'm like, is he dressed as Vegeta or is he dressed as Thanos? I don't really get it. But he came in and he did exactly what Thanos did in the Avengers. He fucking dominated. And it was so I can't speak about this match enough. It was just like, for me, that was the match of the entire SummerSlam. It was just the best one of the night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tommy?
Plus, Steve Ambrose.
Tommy?
Well, I mean, honestly, I loved it. I thought it was a great match. These two put on a phenomenal match together. They work very well together. Dolph Ziggler can sell a flick to the freaking forehead if he could.
Yes.
You can blow him a kiss and he'll sell it perfectly.
Yes.
I love the Thanos, the boot. I thought it was fucking hilarious. He actually had the stones on by the toes, so it was great to see that. But with a match like that, it's already anticipated of that it's going to be really good. Seth winning the title, a little surprise to me in that sense. I thought Ziggler would actually be able to hold on to it because I was talking about a heel turn and everything,
yes,
which we didn't get.
No.
There's reasons why now that we see. But again, the two guys put on a great freaking match, great falls finishes. I love the fact that Ambrose and McIntyre had that little issues with each other, which means we're going to probably get a good match between both of them, which, they want to push McIntyre. It's a good way to go after Ambrose and put him down. And Ambrose just came back, so what did he do? I don't know. But I like that Rollins got the belt, and he's holding it for Adam Cole until he gets up and takes it from him. Because Adam Cole's the best.
Yep. I agree. I definitely agree for the fact that Rollins and Ziggler, they work really well together in the ring. And if you remember back during Survivor Series, I think in 2015 Survivor Series, when you had the people who were against the Authority versus the Authority, and you remember the last two men in that match was Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins, but it was flipped, Ziggler was face, Rollins was the heel. Now we got the heel Ziggler, and we got the face Rollins. I love how Ambrose played up to Enforcer to make sure Drew didn't interfere to cost Rollins the match. I love that, and I think it was great. I definitely do. I think it was really great, and it was a hell of a match. There were some good spots, especially the off the turnbuckle with the what the hell was it? Superplex. Hell of a superplex off the top of the turnbuckle, and both the guys tore it up, and it was a shock to see Rollins. I figured Ziggler would hold the belt. Rollins becoming a two-time Intercontinental Champion now, which is fantastic, and I hope he holds the belt. And I mean, it was phenomenal. It was, no pun intended. Yeah, it definitely was. Now, one other match I thought was really, really good because I loved the story. Because after seeing on SmackDown this past week where they may be going with it, I'm going to have to go with the WWE Championship match. I'm going to have to go with AJ Styles going up against Samoa Joe, man. I'll let you start this one off, Tommy, man. Freaking AJ Styles. Now,
you notice they were all wearing purple? They were all wearing purple for Neidhart, which I thought was pretty great.
Yes, that was great.
Dude, this match, it was funny. I was actually, when we were watching, I was making a joke with Jen because Samoa Joe had the blue on. He usually has like yellow or green. Mm-hmm. So he had the blue and the black. I was like, maybe they were talking, and because AJ wears blue, and I'm like, Samoa Joe's like, I want to wear blue today. And he's like, fine, I'll wear purple. So, but in the long haul, this match was done very, very well, and it's a good storytelling match. I love the way they just beat the shit out of each other.
Yes,
I love that when he did that when he grabbed that microphone and he said to his wife, "No, Daddy's coming." I said, "You son of a bitch, you are so great. It's so hilarious, and it shows the anger of AJ Styles, and then he just murders him. And I love how they beat the timekeeper guy up again, because that guy was dead on the floor. He was dead in NXT when he got beat up by Ciampa. He was laughing about it when he got knocked out cold. So he was still dead the next night. This guy don't catch a break. He needs a good paycheck. And then the whole thing with the family, I love where it's going. I'm actually excited to see. And it might actually lead to Joe actually winning the belt to a point where AJ gets too frustrated where he ends up making a mistake. And in that case, Joe might be able to not put him out. And I'm hoping for it. I love Samoa Joe. Would I say he would be a great WWE champ? I don't think so. But this title change would be fun to see. Not right now. Build this story. It's a good story. Build it up. We might have something on our hands that can really work for Survivor Series, especially.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. Jade, I hand it over to you.
I mean, the best part of that match for me, because, like, for me in the beginning, it was kind of boring. You know, it's like, all right, we got Big Brawler Joe and AJ Styles going at it, and thank God his hair's finally grown out where he stopped looking like a soccer mom. But... you know, I mean, and Joe actually had hair. I was like, oh my God, he grew his hair out. This is awesome. But I love the fact that they were doing some old school moves. Like there was a couple times where they almost pantsed each other, which was great. I was like, oh, that's old school move right there. The real interest, like I really got into it, was when Joe picked up that mic and was just like, yeah, I'm your daddy now. And that caused AJ to just snap.
Yes.
I loved the snap. I thought it was so well done because AJ Styles is known for keeping his cool. You know, like he's the phenomenal one. He doesn't get riled. He doesn't get pissed off. He will take you out and be like, all right, we're good now. Bye. You know, for him to snap like that and for Joe to be the one to get him to do it, I was like, yes. This is the Joe that I remember from NXT where he would piss you the fuck off so you would make a mistake and he would win.
Yeah. It was great because, I mean, yeah, there was some really good spots in that match. I mean, Joe tried to keep AJ grounded when the match started off. The match kind of paced itself out, and it was like, you know, Joe using his submission holds to hold down AJ, because Joe knew if AJ took flight, he was done. So he held him down. And then AJ, I love his style. He's like, all right, you wanna do this on the ground? Okay. He started mixing it up. What the spot I loved, and everybody there at Jimmy's was like, oh crap, when he put Joe in the Styles Clash. Holy crap. And then when he picked him up and did the move where he does with the neck breaker, you know, like Ty Dillinger. Oh, I mean, he picked Joe up, man. Look how much Joe weighs. You know, Joe's a big guy, man. He's a big guy, and the power
of AJ Styles is just phenomenal.
Yeah, it is.
He fucked it up though. He did fuck up the Styles Clash. He did it with one leg. He didn't get the other arm wrapped around. He couldn't hold him that long. You know, I mean, Joe was able to lift himself up enough for AJ to hold him, but we have seen in TNA, he has not gotten Joe with the Styles Clash. Joe's a little bigger now, though. You know, it's a little different. Joe got a little bit bigger. So I love how the commentators played it up. He didn't get the whole thing. It's like, yeah, because fucking couldn't hold him. It was a big dude.
Yeah. It was great, man. I mean, especially when he took to the mic, and after he had AJ outside the ring, and he took to the mic, and he was like, "Hey, Wendy, Daddy's not coming home tonight. I'll be your daddy." Ooh.
What? And then when they panned to that poor little girl, she actually legitimately looked terrified.
Yeah, she looked terrified. She looked even terrified. She even looked terrified with her dad, man, when he snapped. And, you know, Tommy...
All
the blood.
We were making a joke, actually. It was funny when me and Alex were making a joke during the match. I was sitting there, like, when he said that part, and she looked a little, like, scared. And you see them walking back. I'm like, you know right now what's happening is AJ's like, don't worry, Uncle Joe's backstage. When we get Uncle Joe's going to talk to you. And then they get backstage, and you'll see Samoa Joe walk through the gorilla position and come in and be like, hey, no, Uncle Joe. No, Uncle Joe's not your daddy. That's your daddy. I'm Uncle Joe. And she has to catch the whole thing on, and I'm sitting there. We're all laughing and stuff. Like, this is how it has to be played. Because she's still a kid. Though she sees her daddy bleeding or daddy fighting, and it's like, no, that's Uncle Joe. Uncle Joe loved you, not as a father, but Uncle Joe loves you. Yeah. And that's why now he's not Samoa Joe, he's Uncle Joe to me. Yeah. He's always going to be my uncle. Uncle Joe.
Exactly. Yeah. Good. Yeah. That's probably what happened right there.
More than likely, that poor little girl looks so terrified.
Yeah,
I don't know if she was terrified of Joe or the blood that was all over her father's face.
Mm-hmm. He said it to him. She goes, "Daddy, you're bleeding." He looks like, "Oh shit! All right, come on, we gotta go."
Yeah, you can definitely, you can definitely hear that. She said, "Daddy, you're bleeding. You're bleeding." But let me ask you this, Tommy, from one parent to another. If someone like Samoa Joe said that to your wife, would you have done what AJ would have done?
Oh, okay. So if Samoa Joe looked at Jen and said, "I'll be your daddy," I'd be like, you know what? He's your new daddy. This guy right here, he will kill me. He will knock me cold. He will choke me out easily. But if I was a professional wrestler and I was jacked, like, and I would, I'd snap a shit. I would flip a load. I would definitely go for the chairs, go for the weapons, and start just pounding the dude left and right with a chair to the back of the head. So I love the fact they let AJ loose in that sense. Yeah. And it shows that Joe is very smart. That's why I love him as a heel. He's very smart. He's the enforcer. He knows what to do, and it's going to lead to a very, very personal match. I like personal matches where it makes sense, the story makes sense. This makes sense. Uncle Joe wants to be daddy. Daddy doesn't want Uncle Joe to be daddy. Thanksgiving's coming up eventually. Is Uncle Joe coming over? I don't know. But we might get to see another match with them. I'm sure they're going to go into Hell in a Cell, and in that case, you can give Joe the title for that. Maybe for a month or two and then give it back to AJ, but Joe is doing a phenomenal, pun intended, job as a heel.
Oh, yeah, he definitely is. I definitely have to agree. Yeah, he's doing freaking great, and I like to see this story go on for a while. I like to see the belt go pass off to Joe for a while, and then AJ chasing it. I think it would be phenomenal. Phenomenal. Now, another great match of the night with another great story would have to be Daniel Bryan versus The Miz. That right there. I'll let you start on this one, Jade.
Oh my God. Now this is a fight that's like 10, 12 years in the making?
8 years.
I mean
8 years.
Yeah. It's over the better part. It's almost the better part of a decade that this fight has been coming. Because in real life, there is absolutely no love lost between those two. They are not friends. They actually legitimately hate each other in real life. And it really comes down to what happened when Daniel Bryan was in NXT and he was put underneath Miz, who was a brand new wrestler. Meanwhile, Daniel Bryan had like 12 years on the circuit from Japan, Ring of Honor, and all that stuff. And he didn't like the way the Miz was working it. So then when they became up and Daniel Bryan all of a sudden took off and the Miz did not, he resented that. It's personal between the two of them. Yes. Like, you can't fake the animosity and the malice that's actually between the two of them. You can't. Like, a lot of people, I admit, the WWE, they have great actors. This was not fake.
Yeah.
This was not fake.
Yeah.
This was actual, like, I fuck you up. Like, if they were two guys at a bar, I would have to get the bouncer involved because they were going to fuck each other up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the fight was just, it was so good. And, of course, as expected, The Miz pulled his shit like he always does. Mm-hmm. And, robbed him. It was a rob. I call it a robbery, call the cops. But I love that they came to that, like, kind of like that head, but they didn't quite, it's like, you didn't quite get over the hump yet. There's still more to come. This was not a culmination. This was a beginning of an even longer and better feud. I think it was great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's get to the Miz. I think he's an idiot when it comes to marketing and everything else. He's smart.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he knows what to do. He knows how to sell it. You know, and Daniel Bryan knows how to sell it and then control the fact that he could legitimately beat the ever-living crap out of the Miz.
Yeah.
And everybody would hear him. But, I think it was a great match, honestly. A little too short for my liking. Honestly, I think it could have gone a little longer.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to do what you got to do to drag out the storyline a little bit.
Yeah, you definitely do. Tommy?
Well, I will say that I am glad that these two have been able to put on an amazing performance for the past 8 years.
Yes.
With their whole little issues with each other, and it shows that good acting could really make anybody convinced that these guys legitimately hate each other. Because remember, it is still wrestling, and these guys put on a very good match together. And you can see that they work very well together. And this is what made me more excited about this match, because you got two guys. You got Daniel Bryan, who has, he's the man. They used to, back in ROH, when he used to come out, they used to sing the fucking chant that you're going to get your fucking head kicked and clap. And they still, some do it, but they block it out on TV.
Yeah.
The Miz is one of the best guys when it comes to a microphone. He is so great into his character. That's what it's all about. Be the character who you are. Daniel Bryan's character is based on the fans. The Miz is based on himself. Who cannot live a feud like that? And I'm glad the Miz won, because I actually predicted him to win. I thought it was going to be clean, though. But I guess it's the Miz. He's got it. Brass knuckles or whatever he did. It brings them to continue. Daniel Bryan, but in the long run, the Miz needed the win more than Bryan needed the win.
Yeah.
It's Daniel Bryan. We know where Daniel's going to go. He's obviously probably going to stick around because this feud means a lot, and it brings views. This is what wrestling is about. Can you bring the views? These two, they really show how much they dislike each other to a point that it makes sense. But guess what? That match was put on perfectly. Both guys did great in that match.
Yes.
It was believable. The spots were perfect. I love the animosity they have for each other, but I guarantee when they go backstage after that match, they hugged it out, because that was a phenomenal match. It was beautifully done.
It was.
I don't know.
I don't think they hugged it out. Maybe they shook hands.
It's being fooled based on what's going on in the media. Remember, this is still wrestling. This is still scripted.
Yeah.
These guys are phenomenal at what they do. There are people that they actually do. Some people do actually dislike each other. It's, that's just how it is. I'm a man, you're a man, blah, 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 blah. I don't keep up with their personal lives because I can personally care less what they do with their lives.
Mm-hmm.
But together in the ring, they put on a great match. Or if you recall when Matt Hardy and Edge had that little big issue, they hated each other. It was a big problem with each other, but they put on good wrestling. So maybe they do like each other to an extent. I don't think they care too much. They're both making good money. They both got families to worry about. But this storyline is going to go on for a while. And I think at WrestleMania is when it's all really going to click together. I can't wait for Hell in a Cell not even Hell in a Cell, actually, they're doing it that Super Show thing. They're going to fight and the winner gets a title match. Who gets the match? I don't know. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
One thing I liked about this match was, of course, when it started out, it was who can out wrestle who can use who, which moves better. Okay. It was basically Miz doing Daniel's moves, and I like the commentary on it for the fact that it's like Daniel Bryan stole that from the Miz. Those are the it kicks, or that's the it this or that, and it's like, well, no. Daniel Bryan was the first one to do it. Miz ripped him off, just to, insult Bryan. And I liked how they basically almost tried to use each other's finisher on each other. I thought was really great. And I did like when it came down to it, how was this match going to end? That was my thing about it. We talked about because of Daniel Bryan's contract is up September 1st. how's the outcome of this match going to affect? If Daniel wins, then, he's going to stay around for a while. Miz wins, then, Daniel Bryan's going to slowly ride off into the sunset and leave WWE. And I have to say that with the outcome of this match, it just made sense with Miz, who he is, because he's dirty. He knew he could not beat Bryan one-on-one. He couldn't get a clean win. So, however, thanks to Maurice sneaking in the brass knucks, knocking out Bryan, for the 1, 2, 3, and that was it, I mean, yeah, good story. Love, how this went, and just was happy about it. I definitely was. Now. Yeah.
I mean, you guys saw what happened on SmackDown, right? Yes, on Tuesday?
Yes. We know where Daniel Bryan and The Miz is going now after SmackDown, which is Hell in a Cell. We're going to have a mixed tag match. There was rumors a while back, speculation that Brie Bella was training to get back in the ring, and before Daniel Bryan got cleared for wrestling, that he was in the ring training Brie. He was training her, and there was footage that they had of him training, showing moves. They didn't want released. WWE did not want that released because it's like, this guy, he's injured and he's retired. He can't get back in the ring. It's like, give us a break, man. The guy's good, okay? He's had time off. He's healed. He did a Shawn Michaels. He's back, stronger, bigger, faster, or not bigger, but, stronger, faster, better than ever. He is.
Well, he's a little bit more cut.
Yeah.
He's a little bit more cut.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but not as cut as Ambrose was.
No. Woo.
I mean, yeah. I mean, just damn. That's the thing. You ever notice about talent, when they're off with the injury, they come back, they look bigger than what they normally do. It's like that time Triple H, 6 months out after he's tore his quad, he comes back in January the following year, and all of a sudden he's like freaking like wide as a door, man. It's like, holy crap.
Like, bicep muscles had biceps when H came back. His biceps had biceps.
They did.
Yeah, my dad, when he seen him, he was like, my dad, God rest his soul, when he seen Triple H, he's like, holy crap, his shit has muscles. But those...
I was lucky enough once to meet Triple H in person, back when the WWE was still the WWF, and they had their restaurant in Manhattan.
Yeah, I remember that.
Mania 25 just so happened to fall on my birthday, and I wanted to go to the restaurant. I was like, Mom, can you take me to the restaurant? And it just so happened that he was there. He came up to us. I swear to God, his hand was as big as my fucking head. And I was just like, oh my God, this is the greatest night of my life. But that man is just... I think that was like right after he got really jacked, right? I think the WrestleMania 25 was right after he came back from the bicep tear, the quad tear.
Yeah.
So he was gigantic when I met him. So I can only imagine how he is now. I mean, the man is still in fantastic shape. I mean, like, you got to admit that when these wrestlers, because Fernando pointed things when they get injured, they grow their hair out or they cut it off and they get...
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, all right, we'll see how this plays out.
Tell me.
Yeah. Peanut.
Now,
come here.
Would you all agree with me for the fact that these three matches that we talked about were the best matches of the night?
Yes.
Yeah, agreed.
I agree. Now, we had, what was it? 1, 2, I'm looking at the notes here. We'll say, about 2 squash matches, real quick ones. One thing we were wondering about was Braun Strowman against Kevin Owens. That went quick, And, of course, Braun kept the briefcase. Owens didn't get it. So that rumor right there was squashed about Owens capitalizing on it, man. I mean, we thought Owens was going to get the briefcase. It was going to be him, or Braun was going to keep it. I said what? Braun was going to keep it. What'd you guys predict on that one?
I think we all agreed that Braun was going to keep it.
I said Owens. I felt Owens was going to do a slick route in order to be able to beat Braun. The match was a waste of time, waste of space, stupid. Owens got squashed, stupid, and I don't know what they're going to do with the guy.
Yeah.
I think they're going to wait for Sami Zayn to come back, and then they're going to use him again.
Yeah. That's a long time, though. Like, that's just another waste of Owens, and it's not a guy that should be wasted. Don't get me wrong. Love the gear he was wearing. Love the KO in the bank. I thought it was phenomenal. It was so funny to see. And just, he made a shoulder block look like he got hit by a bulldozer.
Yes.
It was beautiful to watch, but stupid match. Waste of time. What was the point of making that match in that case? I don't know. Waste Kevin Owens as much as you want. He signed a 6-year deal, so who knows what's going to happen next.
Yeah, exactly.
True, he did.
Yeah. And then the other squash match.
I mean, honestly, I think it really comes down to Vince.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It comes down to
I think
Vince.
it comes down to Vince. Vince doesn't like Kevin Owens.
I mean, well, we know.
So Vince.
Yeah,
it's Vince's issue, and I think that's why they squashed him, and that's not fair.
Mm-hmm. And, of course, we know Kevin Dunn, Mr. Beaver that sits in a production truck, Vince's right-hand man.
Kevin Owens can learn.
Kevin Dunn. Screw him, man. Owens, I mean, Dunn, screw Dunn, Owens. I mean, now the second squash match we had of the night was Alexa Bliss going up against Ronda Rousey for the Raw Women's Championship. It happened quick. All I gotta say is with Ronda getting the title, there is a lot of speculation, and there's like a lot of people, a lot of the female talent in the back was happy to see Ronda come in and see Ronda, going forward and, embracing and being 100% with WWE. However, Sasha Banks and Bayley were mad that, someone with the name of Ronda Rousey coming in and just jumping them and stuff. Well, it comes down to this, too, you think about it. WWE Creative, they've basically ruined Bayley and they ruined Sasha Banks. They basically almost put them into a PG-14, what would be in the Attitude Era, a love story, a lesbian thing, if you really do look at it that way. I mean, come on now. Therapy sessions, what a freaking waste of time, It's like, who's going to lick a lot of puss there? But, other than that, that's what they're trying to do there. And it's just...
No, it's like, la, 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 la.
Yeah. Yeah, they basically... They've ruined both of them, so they don't like the fact that Ronda's getting the treatment and stuff. They got to look for the fact that Ronda Rousey is a name and she draws money, and that's why they signed her to WWE. It's all about money, man. It's like what they did what they've done with Alexa Bliss. They could have done that with Sasha when they first brought her up the main roster. They blew it. Bayley, they've just they squeeze that as much as they get, But other than that, I mean, I was satisfied. It's like, Ronda's going to win. She's going to get her payback. She's going to destroy Alexa, and that's it. She's going to capture that title. Then now it's like waiting to see who's next in line to get that Raw Women's Championship. And now we know why they buried Asuka on SmackDown now. Because of this. Right here. This makes perfect sense. We can't have two dominant females. Oh, no. We got to make Ronda is going to be the dominant female. And the little Asian girl, too bad. We're going to bury you for a while. You're done, You're buried. You know, there was rumors about her walking out. Yeah, rumors about that, but yeah, they've ruined and they buried Asuka because of Ronda Rousey right there, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's freaking ridiculous. You know, when Asuka came
it's
up,
actually. Sorry.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. That's all I wanted to say. It's just freaking ridiculous.
No,
one of the things that pissed me off.
Talking about this earlier today, actually, and that's why I said we kind of need a shakeup.
Mm-hmm.
We do, because honestly, I think they ruined Bayley the minute they said that she was going to turn heel. Bayley is one of those people where it's like no matter what you do, you're not going to be able to get her to be a heel. She's just in that aesthetic where she's a permanent face. You just can't do it. So that was one reason why Bayley is now just like done. Sasha Banks, she had a really good go of it. I thought that she was going to become one of the more dominant females for a little while.
Yeah.
Again, buried her. Mm-hmm. Then Asuka gets called up. They make her lose her streak. Number one, she's done. Like she lost her streak. What was it, to Charlotte, I believe?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it's like then now you're not even using her correctly. They don't use Nia Jax correctly. They don't use any of these. They picked and choose who to push because they were preparing for Rousey. And now the bigger part is all these women are going to get pushed even more because now Baszler's going to get called up. You saw that the other two horsewomen of the MMA were there ringside. They're coming to WWE. They're working out a contract system for them. It's gonna happen. They're gonna build these women up as the new 4 horsewomen. And what does that mean? Honestly, if they shook it up, this is just me. I was jawing with Fernando this morning. I said, if you move Asuka to Raw, you could have a really good feud between Asuka and Rousey. I think that feud would probably be one of the better feuds to come out, but you have to move Asuka. You can't keep her on SmackDown anymore.
No, they buried that now because especially with the SmackDown Women's Championship match, man, with Carmella against Becky and Charlotte. We talked about Becky turning heel, and I guess it was true, man. It was true because we wanted Becky, or actually, if I remember, Tommy, you said that Charlotte would actually come in and capitalize on the pin on Becky, and then win the championship. You called that one right there, man. I remember that. Yeah, and I was like, when I saw it happen, I was like, all I thought was, oh, so smooth finish, Tommy James. That's what I thought.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, holy crap, man. You know, it's like, and then Becky, the place went ecstatic seeing Becky turn heel on Charlotte. You know, Carmella, thank God they took the damn strap off of her, and now they're just building on that story now with Charlotte and Becky now. Charlotte and Becky. Becky was like, it was my time. You took my time away. I'm pissed. So we're not friends. You came into my business. You took what was mine. And now I whipped your ass. You come back. I'm going to whip it again. I'm going to whip it till I take that belt from you and I take your head off with it. You know? How'd you feel about watching this match here, man? Because I will throw this out here. I'll start with you, Tommy. As soon as they got rid of when 2 of the ladies got rid of one, they focused on each other there for a while. I thought was good, and that dynamic, you know, I love that.
I thought it was a well done match as a triple threat. You know, with Charlotte winning, I'm not happy about it. You know, even though I could call something, but I still don't think it was right. I think Becky deserves that belt as much as anybody else in this world does, if not even more. And I know they're all claiming it's a heel turn, but is it? Because the crowd loves it.
Yeah.
You know, and she's sitting there, she's trying to be a heel, but it's like, no, we agree with you.
Yeah.
You deserve it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's like when she attacked Charlotte, I'm sitting there like, yeah, kick her fucking ass. Because seriously, she had a one-on-one match. Girl, you gotta show up now with your big ass titties, now your fake tits showing up, and you're gonna come into my ring, gonna get involved in my freaking match, and then you're gonna win. And not only are you gonna win, you're gonna pin me. Okay, I'm gonna kick your ass. I don't look at that as I know WWE sense heel turn. Listen, she had all the right to attack her. She had all the right to kick her ass. To me, Charlotte's the real freaking heel. And Becky is doing what it's supposed to be done is you stepped on my toes, now I'm going to kick your ass for it. And that's what I love. And I think if they do this feud correctly, they can double turn back again. You know, we can get a double turn if done correctly. Because in the long run, nobody's going to cheer for Charlotte. It's not going to happen. They're going to cheer for Becky because they want to see her succeed. So you can literally take a Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Bret the Hitman Hart and double turn it. And if you do it correctly, it can be done amazingly, and Becky will win the belt, and people will lose their shit. Because she deserves it. We want to see it. And, you know, Charlotte, again, it's just the whole, I'm a Flair. I come in. I get the belt. And I think that's where they're leaning towards. So I'm hoping if they do it right, we get a double turn. Keep Becky, quote-unquote, heel, whatever. I don't think she's heel. She's just somebody that's sick of somebody that's just taking her spot. Go, get and kick her, break her arm. I don't care. Pop her tit. Who cares? They're fake. Me and Jen were talking about it. We were sitting there like, didn't they get bigger? Jen's like, I don't know. I'm like, pretty sure those kids got bigger.
Yeah, you're not the only person I've heard this weekend say about that. I mean, they look bigger. That's what my wife said. She said, look at Charlotte. I mean, are they bigger? Did she get work done? I'm like, no, it's just the outfit. It's just kind of push up. But then actually, like I've remembered, she had to have she had to have surgery because one of them busted a while back ago. So she had surgery, and I guess she got them lifted a little bit there. You know, I mean,
no, they were blown up. That wasn't a lift. That was a size up.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm gonna get flat. I'm gonna show my boobs. Like, nah, I'd rather Becky all day. She looked better. She's real. Yeah, man. Charlotte sucks. She's the heel. She is the heel. Woo! I like the woo part, but that's it.
Yeah. Becky, she made it clear on SmackDown what her intentions were, and I just loved it. And I loved how they emulated something that's been done a million times. It was done with The Undertaker, and it was done with Undertaker and Brock. It was done with Brock and John Cena, and then Brock and Roman Reigns. You know, it was like split them up, they fight, split them up, they fight. You know, it's been done a million times. You know, but yeah, I want to see Becky get the title. I definitely want to see that. I thought it was interesting. It wasn't that long. It was the U.S. Championship match, Nakamura and Jeff Hardy. Yeah, that right there. I loved how they kind of showed off against each other. It was entertaining at the beginning and stuff, though. But again, Nakamura ended up winning, and then of course, Orton came out stalking like a stalker and went after Jeff. So now it's like, what are they gonna do with Nakamura now? He's U.S. champion. Who's he going up against now? It's like, where's he going? Nothing's clear. Give him a belt. Put him in the middle of this Orton and Hardy feud. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about that.
It doesn't make sense. It feels like to me that they gave Nakamura a belt just to say, sorry, we couldn't give you the WWE title, so we'll give you this title, and you can run with it for a bit. Yeah. And he will be able to run with it. I love him as the U.S. champ. I think, as we all know, I'm a huge fan.
Yes.
I thought the match was actually enjoyable. It was funny. I love that he tried for the low blow and he missed, and he's like, and you're just like, it's great. It makes me laugh. And Nakamura became that guy that not only is he a phenomenal competitor, but he makes me laugh. And I don't know where they're going to go. I don't know who they can put him up against. I I guess it's right now just kind of hold on, see what happens. Maybe you could throw Rusev in there. Maybe you could throw CN in there. I would love to see CN, actually. That would be amazing.
Yes.
But then it's two heels against each other.
Exactly.
That just doesn't really work. I don't know. It's weird. I really don't know where they can go with it. Maybe they're holding something in them. Maybe EC3 shows up at this moment. Like, who knows? You know, maybe that's what they're trying to save for it. I think if EC3 took the belt from him, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah. I agree with that. Anything you want to add on that? Yeah.
I mean, they could turn around and be saving it because who knows? Jericho may come back and from what he's doing over in Japan right now and with whatever he's doing with his band and everything, Jericho could come back and be like, you know what? This is mine. I'm gonna take that. Yes. And then they feud between them. Whatever. Jericho's one of my favorites, so that would be kind of cool to see.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, where it really does come down. I saw on I was watching an interview with Nakamura, and he's like, if they throw enough money, Japan doesn't want him back. If they throw enough money my way, I'll move my family here to the United States, but the price has to be right. And that's what Nakamura is saying on the outside. The price has to be right for me to stay.
Yes.
And since Japan is not really saying, okay, well, we want you to come back. We need you to come back. It's also he's getting older. He's not going to be able to do strong style for forever. And even if he does do it forever, it's going to get old. It's going to get played out. And as much as I love, because I'm a fan of Nakamura too, I love him. I don't see how or they're going to play him the right way right now. I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. Matt Hardy he announced his retirement. He's done.
Yes.
So now means that Jeff Hardy can no longer use Brother Nero. Without the broken one, there is no Brother Nero. So that persona has to develop into something else. Jeff Hardy, he can go back to being how he was with the high flying tricks and everything, and then play out that feud with Orton. But I don't know. I kind of feel like they're stuck.
Yeah.
The writers are stuck.
Yeah. Well, they are, because if you really look at it this way too, that a lot of stuff like what we talked about earlier with NXT. NXT basically develops that story and stuff, and you see the outcome. You see it at TakeOver, and then you see the next chapter begins. You could see the stories develop. Actually develop, and then end. You're like, really? And then really, with a lot of matches on this card, not that much continuation for stories. It was stuck. It was here, let's just get to the SummerSlam. Let's do the story all right there, and then end it, and then try to figure out how to get to the next pay-per-view. And then when we get there, then we'll have our story. It's no, you don't build the build-up. That's the thing. They don't do the build-up like they used to. And I think that was the problem with a lot of the matches and stuff on this card, is there's not enough of them with a lot of good build-up. I mean, if you guys agree with me on that right there.
Yeah.
The slow burn, they don't do it anymore.
Yeah, they don't do it. They don't do it. Now, I have to say, one of the most shocking, not shocking, I don't know if that's the term to use, unexpected, that would probably be better right there, unexpected. I'm talking about Finn Balor going up against Baron Corbin, constipated Corbin, going up, constipated Corbin bounced out there after he valet parked, my car, and while he was in there waiting, while he was constipating on Finn Balor's come to the ring, we didn't get Finn Balor. We got the Demon Finn Balor. Jade, what was going through your mind when you seen and you heard the music and you knew it was the Demon, not Finn Balor, but the Demon Finn Balor?
I was very happy.
I was
very happy. We haven't seen the Demon in almost 2 years.
Yes.
And You know, I'm sitting there like, where's he been? Like, when are we going to get the demon back? And I was very happy to see him come back at this pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically Finn Balor telling us like, no, the demon was just sleeping.
Yes.
He's still here and he's still going to kick your ass. Yeah, was I a little disappointed it was a bit of a squash match? Yeah, sure. But I got to see the demon, so who the fuck cares? You know? I mean, and he you know, if you watched Raw, you saw he got his chance, finally, to, you know, challenge. So that's good. And I think they're going to start building off that, which I think the squash match was their way of saying, all right, we're done with you and Baron Corbin. Let's move you on to something else.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was one of the storylines that I think was put out there with that match. So that was pretty cool.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, so smooth, Tommy James. Let me hit this for you. Oh, so smooth, Tommy James. Now, the demon coming back.
The demon came back. I murked out. I thought it was great to see that. Funny enough, they were saying they're like, oh, he hasn't been back since SummerSlam where he won the title. And I'm sitting there thinking, and I'm talking to Jen, and I'm like, that's actually not true. I'm like, because I went to SummerSlam last year when he fought Bray Wyatt, and Bray Wyatt wanted the demon, and he got the demon. So it hasn't been. It's actually been a year. So I love Michael Cole that mistake. Because last year at SummerSlam, when I was there, he was the demon when he fought Bray Wyatt. Because
he was. I remember
Bray Wyatt kept saying it. We remember the promos. I want the demon. I want the demon, and he got the demon at SummerSlam last year. So it's been one full year since we've actually seen the demon. It was great to see. It was okay being a squash because that was the whole point. The demon's back. Baron Corbin's like, I don't want to fight him. I want to fight Finn. Like, no, you have to fight him. Same dude. Nice, you know. It looked like they rushed the painting a little, so it might have been like a last-minute decision to make. Yeah, it was great though when he came out because Christian's a fan of the Demon Finn Balor. So when the music kicked in, he was in his room and the music starts and he, I guess, recognized it right away. He started crawling on the floor, and I was just like, look at this kid, 3 years old, like Finn Balor, and I'm just like, there we go. I'm like, yeah, but so it was good to see. I'm okay with the squash. Like, it makes sense in that standpoint. Who cares about Baron Corbin? You get to see the demon again. Brooklyn wild out for it. And that means we'll see more. We'll see more of the demon when it matters. And that's what the demon really means. When it comes out is when it matters. Mm-hmm. This matters because we haven't seen it in a year. And it's nice to see. And
exactly.
Like I said, the paint job wasn't like it normally is, but it looked good. He looked good. Corbin got his ass whipped. Everybody's happy. I'm okay with the match.
Exactly. I was fine with the two. I definitely was. And of course, I like what Baron said after Monday Night Raw. He said that he wasn't ready, and that wasn't Finn Balor. He was ready to face Finn Balor, not the demon. It's just like whatever you say, constipated Corbin. Whatever you say. And fine, you know. I want to address the elephant in the room. Or actually, I want to address the beast in the room. I'm not talking about me. As my wife would say, no. We're talking about Universal Championship match. Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. It sounds like he's clearing his throat when he says that.
He probably does.
Now, we talked about this. We discussed this. All right. That Brooklyn's going to crap on this. All right. WWE, I just want to throw this out here. I'll let you start it off, Tommy. We discussed this, okay, that Brooklyn crowd WWE already got Lesnar. Already people hate on him. They already don't like Roman Reigns. So you put both of these elements in a ring. They knew that this match was going to get booed the whole time. let's bring Braun Strowman out with the briefcase when he's going to cash in. You know, while you're distracted with him and cheering him, you're not booing this match, which sucks. Okay. Tommy?
What is it whenever somebody mentions Roman Reigns, you go crazy? Come in.
I'll tell you this. When Braun came out, I was like, yes, cash in. But like everybody, we all said there was going to be cash in. So WWE was smart. No, you're not getting that cash in.
No.
But I will say, for this match, for a main event, it went, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know, 8 minutes. It didn't go that long. But it was a good way to end it in the long run. With Reigns actually winning, the crowd actually cheered for him, which was crazy. I was very surprised. When he won, he got a pop. And it's mainly because they did a good job at making you dislike Lesnar. So for Reigns to win, it's like, yes, finally a fucking full-time champ. Because that's really what you're cheering. You're like, the belt's finally going to be around. Because you know Reigns ain't going nowhere. So it's like, it's nice to see that he got the victory. I'm not a fan of the guy. You know, I think people do hate on him for wrong reasons. It's not his fault. He is very talented. He's a very good wrestler. He's not good on the mic, but he's a good wrestler. And I felt that the ending was fine. It wasn't like this is the way I would end SummerSlam, but it was good. It was a way that it should end. He should have won the belt. Mm-hmm. It shouldn't have been Lesnar. If it was going to be Braun, I would have been even happier, but it's just like too obvious. Too obvious. You know what's going to happen. Let's just give you a title. And you got the change. And Roman, in the long run, from all the crap, if you really want to go based on the wrestling and how everything is written, the guy deserves it, of course, after all the shit that he went through. Yes. So it just pulls up the circle. And it's okay. And I think that's what makes it more interesting. Because we know Braun's just lurking and waiting. And we know we're going to get that match with him. So right now, it's just like, all right, Reigns gets the belt. It's cool. I'm fine with it. The title goes back to being a full-time thing. And right now, it's okay. It's a good way to just send it off and say, have fun.
Mm-hmm. Jade?
Well, it's obvious my big dog here does not like the big dog. Because whenever somebody says Roman Reigns, she starts barking. So, I definitely agree. I'm so happy that Lesnar no longer holds that champion. He was a horrible champ. That championship, it's not a part-time championship.
Yeah.
That needs to be a full-time thing. And he is a douche, and he does not respect the universe. He does not respect us. He does not respect the other wrestlers. He just basically thinks he has like that because, unfortunately, Vince loves him.
Yes.
And, you know, the problem with it is he's leaving anyway to go back to MMA. Once his suspension is up, it's been known he's leaving to go do MMA again. So there's no way Vince was going to let that happen while still maintaining that championship. And seeing as he never, ever wants to drop it, this was the perfect time to do it.
Yeah.
And fine. It would have been great if Strowman had been able to wrestle it away from Roman's after he finally got it. Yeah, that would have been amazing. But you know what? It sets it up now where the championship is now full-time. So now you have a full-time storyline for this. You have the monster among men going up against the big dog. And with the Shield being reunited, what's going to happen with that? You know? So you have, and even though I do kind of think that them coming made Roman weak. Yes. But it also is like my other point that I was making to somebody was now it forces how Reigns was always on the fence. Like, is he heel? Is he face? Is he heel? Is he face? Now he's forced to be a face. He has to be.
Yeah.
You know? The Shield is back. The Shield is reunited. They're faces. So unless they all do a major heel turn all together, which I don't think is going to happen right now, he's a face.
I mean,
they could.
It's
I don't disagree.
If they want to do it right, it actually could be done. Because now what they're doing is, and it's actually smart. What they're doing is they're saying, do you cheer for Braun or do you cheer for the Shield? Now that's where it gets you going, oh man, I don't know who I want to cheer for. But
Exactly.
if they want to do it correctly, if they're smart, and the way I think I would do it was, you're going to turn the Shield heel, but you're going to do it slick, because the best way to do it is anytime Braun tries to catch in, the Shield comes in and stops him. Eventually, the fans are going to hate it because they're going to be like, oh, come on, oh, come on, oh, come on. And Reigns could then utilize that, being like, yeah, I got my brothers. I got my back. You can't beat me. And that is a perfect way to turn them heel. And in the long run, you can have the heel turn and then have them turn on, for example, have them turn on Rollins, just like he turned on them. So, because they're wanting to do the whole setup of Dean turning heel, but this might be a better way to do it. You can have this heel turn, because in the long run, who do you cheer for? Do you cheer for Braun, or do you actually cheer for the Shield? It's it's going to be one of those issues where as a fan, you're going to be like, I don't know who to cheer for. If they do it right, you cheer for Braun, and you boo the Shield. That's the best way to do it, and it'll be actually really interesting to see what they're doing, because they're already saying at that Super Show it's going to be the Shield versus 3 unknown members. I don't know who it's going to be. Maybe Braun. Maybe he'll bring Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper. Maybe we'll do a little Wyatt family thing. Or maybe we'll go undisputed and make it even better with the Undisputed Era.
No,
I mean, I don't disagree with you. That's literally what I said to Fernando today. I'm like, can you imagine? Because it's Rowan. Rowan's out now. Rowan's out until minimum WrestleMania with what was it, a bicep tear?
Yeah, bicep
or something
tear.
like that.
Yeah, and he did that match last
Yeah.
night or Tuesday night. He did that match. Yeah, it's
the
crazy.
whole thing.
It's crazy.
He's out. So there is a very good chance that if they do decide to do a little bit of a shakeup, there could be a Wyatt family reunion, especially if, say, they decide to bring up a Sister Abigail now.
Yeah,
There is the possibility of that. That's one road they could take. So I definitely agree with you on that. I definitely think that they could use this now as a call up for Undisputed Era, where all of a sudden it's like, hey, we're here now. Like, what up? Like Shield versus Undisputed Era. Can you imagine that?
That would be great. That would be great.
So good.
It would.
So good. And then at the same time, you would still have Strowman. I would think that if that happens, that Strowman's going to be the champion by then.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Right. Now, I agree with everything both you say on about with the Shield, with Strowman. Now, the one thing that upset me about the finish of SummerSlam was the fact that Lesnar took 3 spears, and then he got distracted by Braun outside the ring after throwing his briefcase 50 feet back up the entrance thing, taking out Braun. I mean, and then he comes in the ring with the chair and he turns around, 1 spear, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that was it. Okay, you knew Universal Champion. There were some shocks in the crowd and stuff. Roman celebrated there for a minute, but did you all? I don't know if you guys noticed though, but they turned the sound down on the crowd and turned up the cheers, and they quickly went off TV so you couldn't hear the crowd. They knew what the hell they were doing, and that really pissed me off. And because people at Jimmy's was like, "That's it." It went off real quick. He didn't even celebrate. They knew what they were doing. They knew exactly what they're doing. They knew what they were doing Monday night.
They also screwed up.
They knew what they were doing Monday night. Having the Shield, okay? Lesnar, it was rumored that Lesnar was going to probably end up messing up Braun's cash-in on Monday. That was a big 180 and a big swerve when the Shield got back together. But then, of course, everyone loves the Shield because Rollins and Ambrose, everyone loves them, okay? You only got 30% of the audience of female and children cheering for Roman. Let's stick him with Rollins and Ambrose. That way they can cheer, you know. And it's like, no, because they're gonna boo They're gonna boo Roman still. They're gonna love the other 2 guys. He's the odd man out. They're still gonna do that. They're still gonna boo him. They swerved everybody. You know, it just pisses me off how they finally got their Shield reunion after it failed last year. You remember that? Roman got sick. He got hepatitis or something. He was out. Kurt Angle filled in for the Shield. He filled in, and then overseas on the tour, Triple H filled in as the Shield, and then Ambrose gets out, so the Shield reunion failed, and now all three of them are together. Let's put them together. Let's get people to cheer for him because this is our guy. This is our guy we want on top of WWE, like it or not. And if you're against this, we will hunt you down and we will burn you to a stake because this is what we want. We don't care what you want anymore. That's what really pisses me off about the fact that I was livid that they're like, they're taking a dump on us. And you're talking about call-ups. That is why they didn't have the 5 potential call-ups that they were talking about doing Monday night, because they wanted that to be the last thing that everyone went home and talked about. Like, dude, the Shield, not, hey, Adam Cole. Oh my God, Adam Cole's on the main roster, or Undisputed Era. No, they wanted that right there to be the thing you talked about. Because after the 4 years, it goes back trying to get Roman Reigns over.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing right there.
I mean, but then also... Yeah. No, but also, don't forget, Strowman screwed up. Strowman screwed up on the mic. Because now he said, I'm going to come at you face to face.
Yeah.
So where's the lurking factor Strowman is known for? I mean, you just said you're going to come at face to face. So what is he going to do? Menace him from the sidelines every single match that he has? That's kind of not the Monster Among Men's MO.
Nah, he should just show up. Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, it's like you're going to stand out there and you're going to get knocked out. You're going to get your briefcase. They're going to throw it out in the crowd and use it as a beach ball. He's gonna why he's trying to get his briefcase. Roman's gonna be winning his match. Roman's gonna grab the belt. Roman's gonna run on the other side of the arena up with his brothers, Ambrose and Rollins. They're gonna go bye-bye, bye-bye, Braun, give me that, it's like, give me that briefcase back so you get these hands, it's like,
yeah,
I know, that's basically what's
was that a writer's screw up, do you think? You think that was a writer's screw up, or do you think that was Strowman screwing up?
I don't think it was a screw up at all, actually.
Yeah.
I think what they're doing, it makes sense, because what they're saying is Braun's not a coward. Because he actually said that, I'm not a coward.
Yeah.
I'm not just going to attack you down and out. I'm going to reach you face to face. And because of his character of who he is, because he's not a bitch.
Right.
He's not the lurking, the sneaky heel. So yes. I actually like it. I think it's more just like, that's
Indirect.
Fine. You have your match. I'll wait. And when your match is over and you stand up victorious, then I'm going to come in and now we're going to fight. I'm not going to wait till you're down, you're broken through a table. I like the way they do that with him because it just makes him, I guess in the long run, not a pussy.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's another way they can do it. He says this, he does this, and then he flips the other way and he actually goes off and actually does what most people do with Money in the Bank. But I liked it. I thought it was a good way to do it. I don't think it was a screw up. I think it made sense for the character that he is. I'm not a bitch. If I'm gonna fight you, it's straight right here. We're gonna fight. So it was interesting. The whole distraction thing. It's just a setup for something else to come. We'll see. But I think the utilizing the Shield, anytime he tries to cash in, they're just gonna come through and they're gonna kick his ass and he's gonna get mad. Eventually, he's gonna have to do it when Roman's down and out. So
yeah,
he's
gonna have to.
It's good. It's good by him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's gonna have to. He's gonna have to basically.
That is Paul Heyman writing.
Mm-hmm. Good. Yeah, that's right. Because Paul Heyman's writing for Raw right now. Yeah, he's taking that role right there. Now, SummerSlam on a scale 1 to 5. I'll ask you, Jade, and then Tommy. On a scale 1 to 5, what do you give SummerSlam 2018? 2. Tommy?
3.
Oh, 3. I didn't see. I saw, okay, you give it a 3. 3 out of 5.
Yeah,
3 out of 5.
I'd give it a 3.
You give it a 3. For the fact that I didn't like the finish in the main event. One spear, 1, 2, 3. I give this a 2. I give this 2. Even with the great matches, the 3 great matches we talked about and we agreed on, even with those matches, I'd give those like a 4. But with this is a pay-per-view. I give it a 2. I give it a 2 because of the finish and just the other factors and everything and stuff. And that's what I'm sticking to. That's right there. Now, one thing I want to add is I don't know if you all caught it, was on Wednesday night NXT. The matches they filmed right before TakeOver. I don't know if you caught any of those because Pete Dunne, the Bruiserweight, put up the United Kingdom Championship against Zach Gibson, who he fought in the UK tournament this year. Hell of a match, man. Really good match. They brought it to the limit, man. It was almost about the same or even better than what they did in the UK tournament match when Gibson won. Really great. You should check it out on the network.
I'm mad I missed it.
Yeah.
So Gibson's a new champ.
No. Pete retained, but it was a hell of a match. Yeah, Gibson didn't win. Yeah, Gibson didn't win the title. It was one hell of a match. I mean, Gibson brought it to him and just went, but Dunne retained. But you ever you get time to check it out, I definitely would check that out. Well, we're not 3 hours in, which is great. So we're only just about 4 minutes over the 2-hour mark, which I kind of planned that we may hit tonight. But we brought up some really good points. We voiced our opinions on what we liked and what we didn't like with the characters that we watch each and every night on television. And I basically I'm hoping next year would bring something different to the plate, for SummerSlam. Real quick, did they announce, I haven't kept up with it or watched or heard anything, have they announced next year's SummerSlam location?
I haven't heard nothing.
You haven't heard anything? Jade, you haven't heard anything either?
No. All I know is that it's not coming back to the Barclays.
Yeah, it's not. It's done. Yeah, I know it's done because were there for the last 4 years. That's done and over with. They're not coming back. NXT, WWE, they're not coming back. They were rumored to go to Los Angeles again, but apparently that's not the case. Because in an interview Sasha Banks did, she mentioned LA Staples Center, SummerSlam 2019, not happening. I will say, coming to the Staples Center in November, NXT is bringing back War Games. They're bringing back War Games. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes!
Yep. It's coming back in November. Looking forward to that. And, of course, our next pay-per-view next month is Hell in a Cell, which is coming early. It's usually in October. It's coming in September. October, we got the Women's Evolution and the Superdome show, whatever, over in Australia. That's coming pretty soon, too. And
October 28th.
October 28th is the Super show.
No, 28th I think is Evolution. They're doing it right before Halloween.
Okay, all right. So they're doing that right before Halloween. Real quick, you see on Twitter that they already announced one match for that pay-per-view?
Is it Trish?
I'm not on Twitter.
Oh.
Trish and Bliss.
Yeah. Really? Really? You're Trish Stratus against Alexa Bliss? Come on. I would like to see Trish go up against someone else, not Alexa Bliss. And it's for the Raw Women's Championship. We already know what's going to happen there. Not unless they pull a Hardy's, let Trish run around with the belt for a while, or like Goldberg, one last hoorah, before she really does settle into motherhood, before she pops out a third kid. I hate to say that. I hate to say it. I love Trish. I love what her and Lita did back, in the day there, but I mean, come on, not unless they put Trish over and Barrett, likes to take that loss. I'm not impressed with that first match announced. Creative. You could do something else. Paul Heyman, come on, man. Think of something, Paul. Paulie, dangerously. Get dangerously in that mind of yours, Yeah, Paulie. Pull out that big cell phone, and call Ghostbusters. No. Oh, damn. Well,
oh man.
As always, I want to thank both of you for coming back on and discussing some good old wrestling with me. And for this episode 97. 97 episodes in, man. We're getting close to that triple digits, man, for Everett Lee. Everett Lee's getting a little bit excited about that because next month, sometime, someplace, will be the 100 episode of the Everett Lee Show. More details will be coming next month on what the big 100 of the Everett Lee Show will be bringing everyone, from my friends, my family, people who follow me on social media. You're just going to have to tune in on the date when it's said and announced and stuff, because next month is going to be interesting for the Everett Lee Show. And as always, you can follow Everett Lee. You can follow me on Twitter at the Everett_Lee, and Facebook. Hit up Everett Lee Show and click that thumbs up. And of course, Podcast City Network, EverettPodcastCity.net for the latest episodes of the Everett Lee Show, ELS Uncut, second rounds, New York edition, Florida edition, and we got the Feinics Gate file, the Feinics Gate files. The Feinics Gate podcast. Robin Nielsen presents.
You messed up one of ours today.
Yeah, I'm tired, man.
Might
I've
as
been
well
going
have
since 5 o'clock this morning. Let me say, the Robin Nielsen presents Paranormal Files 13. There you go. Wrestle Popcast, Deathmatch Wrestle Pop podcast. Super Radio Brothers, Imaginarium with Scott and Todd, and the new show with Brady Gibson and Cody McShaft. Bear Claw Survival, second episode's up on that. Also, audio this week, we got second rounds Florida edition, Who You Got Challenge, which you saw the live stream this past Saturday. You get to listen to the audio version. It's out right now. And the Feinics Gate podcast, I said it right that time, we'll be dropping this episode for its episode tomorrow if it chooses. If not, you can watch Jade, I guess, next week. Anything else? You all want to plug and mention before we close? Anyone want to take the floor for me before we close and mention anything?
I am going to be at another concert this weekend. I'm going to see Breaking Benjamin at Jones Beach Northwell Health Theater. Hopefully the weather stays nice. So I'll be probably doing live from there. It's gonna be good because actually over the next week and a half, I have 3 major concerts coming up. I'm actually maybe even 4, because there's Fall Out Boy next Wednesday. There's Breaking Benjamin on the 2nd. Then there's Godsmack on the 6th, and then I see Ozzy fucking Osbourne on the 8th. So there's gonna be a lot of fresh content of all these concerts. I hope you guys tune in. It's gonna be awesome! So good! Woo!
Heck yeah. Mr. Oh So Smooth Tommy James. Anything you want to add?
Not really. Pretty much, we're pretty straightforward. We got MegaCon Tampa next month. We got to do Uncanny Mike's his conference. hopefully find out soon when that's going to be. It's getting close. Big Money Eddie's got Ron Swanson. Miss Ashley Stashbox got Iron Man, and Miss Dozo Smooth got Nova, Richard Ryder. So it's looking good. It's looking like it's going to be fun. And that's pretty much it. I mean, shout out to Mr. A-Town Ryan. Thank you so much for coming down, man. Thank you. I've missed you for at least a year, man. It's been great. I'm glad that he had a good time out here, and now he's in Dominican Republic, and he's living his life right now. And if you see the pictures, the man's having a great time. He's shooting bow and arrows. Black man, big black man from Brooklyn shooting bow and arrows. Who the hell knows this can happen? But that's pretty much really it. Surprises are in store as time goes on, and we will see what happens in the next few months. So we're excited to see.
Yes. Yeah, it's gonna be fun, and it's gonna be interesting with everything going on with all the shows on the Podcast City Network. And I am so happy and proud with all the shows and what everyone's doing and what they're performing. And they're just knocking out each and every week on the network. And you can check out more Podcast City Network over on podcastcity.net. And you can hit Podcast City Network up again on Facebook at Podcast City Network. Give it a thumbs up. And on Twitter at Podcast City Net. And that's it for the Everett Lee Show. Next week, me and David C. Russell. David will be coming back. I gave him a 2-week break. You know, I tell him, I said, you know what, man? You get a 2-week break out of the month. Because when I do prediction shows, because he don't really follow the main product. So I said, you know what, you take a couple weeks, build your show up. You got your own show, do whatever you need to do and stuff. You always come back, man. Same thing with Chris Carnage. He's trying to get Mantra Yoga Living up with Kelly, trying to get that up and squared away, and his show, Chris Carnage Show. So he's been busy, man, and like Chris, I always told Chris there's always a seat open right here on the Everett Lee Show. He's been with me since the beginning, just about the beginning, And McShaft, of course, he's out in the woods now with Brady hunting, whatever, But, interesting take. I love it, something different. And that's what I love about the shows on the Podcast City Network. We have a good variety of shows. We got pop culture, we got comics, we got wrestling, we got, outdoor survival, we got yoga and sports, just so much stuff. And it's just going to get better and better and better. And we're out of here. We're done. And that is it on the Everett Lee Show. As I hit the outro music, where I don't drown myself out. There we go. Tommy, Jade, have a good night. Thank you for coming on the Everett Lee Show. And I am Everett Lee. I am out of here. I'll see y'all next week with David C. Russell for another episode of the Everett Lee Show. Peace.